In an effort to break the stigma and discrimination of mental health and people living with mental health conditions within our communities, the Mental Health Unit is implementing a name change. So I should say the Mental Health Unit in Nevis is implementing a name change. So to announce the name change, we welcome Councillor Mcmillan Cuffy. Welcome back to Good Morning SKN, Mr. Cuffy. A pleasure having you on today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure being back with you.
Oh, that's so sweet. So why the name change?
Yeah, as you rightly said in your introduction, well, it is not official as of Friday, 31st. The name will now be the Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, BHWC for short. And as you rightly said, you know, this is an effort, or one of our efforts, to stamp out and tackle the issue of stigma against persons living with mental health conditions. You know, the terms mental health and psychiatry and all of these other names, people tend to really shy away from them and avoid coming in for services that they're so badly in need of. And so we felt that, you know, a renaming, but not just a renaming, but a rebranding of our services, you know, will be one of our efforts and hopefully help to reduce the issue of stigma for mental health.
All right, so I do have to ask, sir, because as you rightly indicated just now, it's not just a renaming, but a rebranding. So can you walk us through what that rebranding means to you and the potential consumers or the people who are going to avail themselves of your services?
Right, very good question. So, yeah, as I would have indicated, the renaming itself is just one aspect to give people a sense of, you know, a less intimidating or a more welcoming, you know, space. And one of the leading up to the name change on Friday, the official renaming, what we did is basically relocated our services. We were officially, initially at the Alexandria Hospital. And we realized that because, again, of the stigma, persons did not want to be seen coming up those steps to access our office space. And so I can say the first part of that was to move our space in a place that was more neutral. And we are located in the Prospect Estate area, in kind of a residential area where it blends in the community. And so you come here and yes, of course, people will know that this is the Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, but because of the space and the ambience, you know, it's less threatening, it's more natural and neutral, and persons don't feel that sense of hesitancy to come in. But to answer your question, besides the name, what about the rebranding? A lot of persons are of the opinion that the mental health unit is just about dealing with the psychopathologies of mental health, meaning that we only deal with persons who have succumbed or who have decompensated with a mental illness, such as schizophrenia, bipolar, all these other mental health conditions. A lot of persons are not aware that one of the services that we provide is that of counseling. You know, because again, of the stigma of mental health, people usually use terms like crazy, mad, you know, and these kind of terms because they always feel associate mental health with just psychopathologies. And part of the rebranding is to inform the public that we do much more than dealing with the psychopathologies. Yes, we do. And that is a very vital aspect of what we do. Unfortunately, some persons are going to decompensate, and we're going to have to stabilize it. But we want the public out there to know that we do offer counseling. We offer individual counseling. We offer family counseling. We offer couples and marriage counseling, and we just want to create and provide for persons that space where you can just come in and talk to someone in a safe space, a non-judgmental and unbiased space, a space where you feel free and that your business is confidential without having to worry that whatever you speak to a professional counselor about is not going out there on the streets. Mm-hmm. And so that is a very significant part of the rebranding of what we do, the counseling aspect.
Mr. Mcmillan, how important is counseling to prevent deterioration of mental health?
Huge, humongous, big. There is that saying, as teaching time saves 9. Yeah. Prevention is better than cure. Mm-hmm. Our goal here is to try to keep persons healthy and stable, rather than dealing with psychopathologists. If we can prevent someone from breaking down, decompensating because of the burdens and the stresses of life, and we can intervene at an early stage, and that's the whole issue about health promotion and so on. Health, early intervention, early intervention is key, and so that's where counseling comes in. And so if more people access the services and have that space where they can ventilate, and have that bouncing ball, and diffuse the intensity and the pressures that they're going through life, then we may very well be able to avert something much more serious with the companies that have to be institutionalized.
All right, so sir, in hearing you speak to more people potentially availing themselves of the services that you provide, I'm asking you now if that increase in numbers is one of your metrics for success, and if so, does it stand alone, or are there other measures that you're at liberty to share with us now concerning your evaluation of the success of the rebranding?
Right. So certainly we want to increase our numbers. Just give me a second, just plug this in. Certainly we want to increase our numbers, but quantity is not, while necessary, not sufficient. So certainly the quality of what we provide is, I believe, even a bigger indicator of the measure of the quality of service that we provide. And so when we moved here in our new location, a part of that movement was to create that comfortable, homey, welcoming, serene environment and space where persons will want to come. And so we feel that with increased numbers, the word will spread, persons will come in. But as I would have said earlier on, the perception and the misperceptions and misconceptions that persons have about this facility, this center, the Behavioral Health and Wellness Center. We believe that persons now know, well, okay, they're not just about dealing with psychopathologists. In the local parlance, they're not just about dealing with crazy persons. Mm. They do much more. Outreach, counseling, And that's part of why we're here today, making persons aware of what we're doing. And so we're hoping the services in itself has not changed that much, but we see a need to get in from even the preschool level and educate persons about what we are, because it's not that the services are not there. They have always been there, but it's the misconception and misperception that we are trying to change. And hence our reason for being here with you guys today at studio, here with you at the studio.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, it is that not only is awareness important, but education and the outreach that you're doing, the more opportunities that there are for that, the more that would indicate how successful you are at rebranding and providing the services that you were known to provide for public.
Right, absolutely.
Mr. Mcmillan, since your move, have you seen an increase in the footprints of persons coming to the center?
So not dramatically that much.
Okay.
I think to a certain extent, but I think, and that's where education comes in, awareness that comes in that, and I think that which happened on Friday, the 31st, to officially rename and the center, and doing the PRs, the public campaigns that we're doing like now, hopefully will educate the public as to the services that we provide, and we hopefully will see more persons accessing accessing the services. But you guys are asking a very important question. We can do all of this, relocate, try to blend in, rename, rebrand. But if the misconceptions and the misperceptions are not changed, and the attitudes to persons with mental health conditions does not change, all of these efforts are in vain. And that's the bad thing about stigma, is the attitudes that the public has or has there towards persons with mental health conditions. I've seen and heard situations where, and I have personally spoken to persons, encourage them to come in, and I hear comments like, "Oh, my mother said, or my sisters, they do go to them people because they'll give you the mad injection." So unless these attitudes and misconceptions, perceptions have not changed, no matter how comfortable the environment, a lot of money was spent in our relocation to make this place very comfortable in terms of furniture, in terms of just making it really homey and so. A lot of money was spent. But all of these efforts would go in vain if the attitudes of persons does not change. And hence the reason for what we're doing today. Reaching out to persons through the media and educating them that mental health is not just about dealing with persons with psychopathologies. And that is a very significant part. And we do not in any way minimize that. That is very significant. And it's not even about the psychopathology. It's just like people just feel, for some reason, mental health is just so separate. It's like from your neck up, it's just so separate from your neck down. I mean, we drive cars and we know that if one simple problem in the engine or your transmission goes bad, that the entire car is going to malfunction. Same with the body. Same with the body. You can be healthy physically, you can do your annual checks, get a clean bill of health, physical clean bill of health. But if there is something going on in your brain, there is some kind of imbalance, or emotionally you're going through something, or your life is so stressful that it affects your psychological and emotional health, you're not healthy.
So I have to
There
ask.
is no health without mental health.
So
Yes, sir.
I have to ask, in relation to your sensitivity training, it's a two-part question. One, does that include the outreach and the change in perspective that you're trying to get the public to see? And two, does it infiltrate your own staff so that when they're providing the care that you're speaking about as part of this rebranding effort, that they too will be sensitive about their work?
That's an absolute yes for both questions. Yes. Let me zero in on the second part of your question about my staff. I must say that, knock wood, that right now we have staff who are very aware, and we do a lot of training. We do a lot of in-service professional training. We try to do it every Thursday. And we've been on a hold for about maybe a month or so because in preparation for, we had a lot of moving parts. But on Thursdays, we try to do an in-service professional development training for our staff, and we open it up to other members of the NIA, Universal Administration. And these are some of the issues that we look at. And we feel that ongoing training for our staff is of critical importance. Because if we, as the professionals, do not have the right attitudes towards the persons that we treat and take care of, then we ourselves will be pushing them away from accessing the services that we provide. And so we feel that continued education is of vital importance. And so we do that, as I said, on a very regular basis, and we open it up to other persons, out there. And because we feel that, and I've seen it, unfortunately, that even within the healthcare fraternity, we see these negative attitudes. How can you be a healthcare provider and discriminate against persons with mental illness? Just does not make sense.
Well, I'm happy that you answered my question in that way, in speaking to the training that your staff is receiving on an ongoing basis as well. And I really want to wish you the best of luck in your rebranding efforts as well. I know it's not going to be easy work, but you seem to be ready and willing to fight for this very important cause, and we really appreciate your efforts. Before we let you go, we did not ask you about the contact information for anyone listening who might want to avail themselves of your services. So please provide that to us now.
Sure. So as I indicated, we are physically located in the Cedar, in the Prospect Estate, Cedar Grove, Prospect Estate, in the St. John's Parish, Nevis. Our phone information, contact information, 469-5521. That's the government switchboard. Our extension, 6816 or 6817. We have a direct line, 469-5614. We got a mobile phone, 660-6551. Sorry, 660-9551. Let me repeat that. 660-9551. And our email address, behavioral, that is BEHAVIOURAL.health@NIAGovKN.com.